Marianne, you want to speak to whatever litigation you spoke about?
Yes, for the public's information, while we were in closed session, we discussed a number of pending lawsuits against the city, specifically Vasquez versus the city of Hackensack et al. Also the lawsuit Ramirez versus the city of Hackensack and JA Visuals versus the city of Hackensack.
Thank you. So with that, we'll go right to the agenda.
Thank you, Mayor. First up on tonight is there's a ordinance for parking in city parks. There was a minor change to that. I had the change here and I highlighted it, but it blocked it out on me, so I can't see it. But it was a minor change to it. I don't know if you have the backup for that.
Yeah, all it was no parking in the parking lot unless you were
in the
there for
park.
recreational
Right.
activity.
Because people are parking in the parking lot, staying there, so that was the change. Also on is a resolution for the memorandum of understanding for the DPW supervisor's contract. There's another resolution on for a cooperation agreement with the Borough of River Edge Sewer Agreement, which is a increase of $200 per year, every year until 2028. That's a agreement for where River Edge has a certain portion tied into our sewer system. Last but not least, I'll pull up press tweets for the city engineer report concerning stormwater and parks.
Thank you. Check.
You pressed it, yeah.
Check, check. Okay, this is our CSO and construction projects update. First item is just update of our overview of major projects. The blue items indicating a couple of changes. Clay Street Contract 3 has been updated to be complete this month as we're awaiting Veolia to finish some of their work so that we can complete. And I've also added to this schedule the Prospect Avenue pedestrian improvements, which we have had a preliminary design for, and it's being submitted to the county. We expect to be bidding in early 2024 for those pedestrian improvements on Prospect Ave. Getting into the project specifics, with the Anderson Street drainage area, there is a lot of test pitting for this project. So you're going to see this slide for a while. The test pits are to confirm the location of other utilities in the street. So while we know and we do markouts where utilities are, the records are not always complete in terms of the specific depth and specific location of those utilities. So there's a lot of test pitting going on. That should be completed soon, but that's what we're doing right now, so not much change on the Anderson Street drainage area project. The next one is Clay Street Contract 3. As I just mentioned, Veolia Water has to, they have a couple of water service repairs to do on Railroad Avenue, and then New Prince can complete their pipe installation and as well as their punch list items. And then there's a small portion that was planned to be replaced, which the engineer is now recommending that we line instead of replace. So we'll be doing that work. As I said, this project we expect to be complete by the end of this month. Voorhees Lane, we have been looking at options for resolving the voltage drop down for the new pumps. We've been looking at a step down transformer, as well as the possibility of bringing lower voltage from the street poles from PSEMG. We're looking at those options, and we expect a recommendation from the consulting engineer soon, but we're looking at the schedule as well, and trying to make sure that we get this completed as soon as possible. And within our contract amounts limited, the contract value. Our next project is the post-Ida flood mitigation grant, doing CCTV and allowing us to base map the location of utilities. We're about, I guess I didn't do a percentage on there, I think we're about 60% complete, but we're about 75% elapsed in time. And that's largely due to discrepancies in the pipe network. As I say, the records haven't always shown the precise sewer location. So they're resolving, the contractor's having to resolve those pipe locations in the field, and that's slowing them down. There should not be an added cost for this, it's just an extension of time. As I mentioned, for the Prospect Avenue pedestrian safety project, this is showing what's planned at this time. The crosswalk improvements at Thompson Street and Prospect Ave, as well as at Atlantic Street and Prospect Ave. At Atlantic, we'll be installing the Hawk system, high intensity activated crosswalk signal. And we just reviewed those plans last week, and we expect that we'll have a final set of plans by the end of this year, as I say, that we can go out to bid in early '24. For our parks projects, we have started the demolition for Carver Park, and they'll be milling Thursday of this week, milling out the old surfaces and continuing to proceed with the new basketball courts construction. For Johnson Park Sports Facility, as we've discussed, the soil compaction is in progress. That's being monitored. The sports facility field house design is nearing completion. We've just been kind of putting some final thoughts into that from our new rec director and council and other stakeholders. And we are reviewing the options for water supply for firefighting purposes, and I expect there will be a change there to accommodate firefighting flows, so there'll be a little bit of added pipe work there for water supply. And with regards to the administration building, that will be a contract following the letting of the dome contract. We're also finishing up the design input on that and wrapping up those design documents so that can be bid soon. I'll say as soon as possible. We do have to resolve this.
It's going to go for bid this year or next year?
I don't have an answer for you, Councilman. I've asked for an updated schedule, but it does depend on some of these other things, particularly the water supply being resolved. But I think we can probably do that in stages so that we can, get the dome out to bid and proceed with the admin building as well. So we'll get into that more when I have more specific information for you. Polyflight Park is a drainage improvements project. It's not a park improvements, but it's here since it's on a park site. And we did have a pre-construction meeting today and with representatives from involved parties, including the superintendent. I don't have an update for you because Ryan attended that meeting and I wasn't able to download that information with him. But if you want any further information, please let me know. For Fashini Park, we should be getting 60% plans this month, and continuing to progress on that design and bid project. We also had a meeting with Green Acres on Fashini to discuss with them we did get a grant from Green Acres for the old Field 7, but now that we're doing the project in a different area, we discussed with them that we can transfer that grant money to this new project area, so we're getting through that as well. Next slide, please. And again, a reminder to the public and any interested parties, we do have the green infrastructure for environmental justice artist rain barrels are on display at Carver Park. It's really a great display, so I encourage everyone to get out there and take a look. There's really some nice artwork there, and promoting the idea of green infrastructure, and that everybody can contribute to helping to reduce peak flows in our stormwater system to mitigate overflows. For our paving projects, we will be paving, again, this hasn't changed since last time. We're going to be paving later this month. We've been waiting for PSE&G to finish their work. PSE&G will be paving their portion of the project, and we will pave similarly when they're done. Other projects are intersection improvements. So there's a new traffic signal going in at Summit and Passaic, and new pedestrian intersection at Beach and First, and more pedestrian signals and intersections at Central and First. That work is going in presently.
Clean, what happened with the intersection with Atlantic 3 at Proctor?
With what? Pardon me?
She talked about that, but that's right.
Yeah, that was the one in the prior slide, Prospect in Atlantic and Prospect and Thompson.
Maybe
Next slide, please.
And I have everything ready for him.
I'm sorry.
You have to jump.
He's coming at 8.
We'll be here later, maybe.
Well, I'm sure.
Just going back to the intersection, I have a question. They just paved Brook and Burn, right? I'm just questioning the rhyme or reason put behind the way they did the crosswalks. Some have, like you come to the first, if you're coming from Passaic Street, there's 4 crosswalks, right? There's 4 handicapped access to the sidewalks.
Mm-hmm.
All of them have handicapped access, but some of them have no crosswalk. There'll be one line here, and one line here, then the next one will be 2 lines this way. You're like, I don't understand the rhyme or reason why they're not all the same.
the way one is county and the other one is city.
If you get a chance, go out on.
No, Isle Street, Burn Street is all
Burn Street.
city,
That's what?
all city owned, it's not county owned.
No.
It's all city.
Burn.
Burn is all city.
But, oh,
Yeah, it's all Burn Street, but
I'll
take
check.
a right on Burn from Passaic Street, and you'll see the first intersection, there's all 4 crosswalks are there. And I think there's 3.
but Passaic
And
County
then there's one
Road,
with 2, it's
This
like.
is on Burn Street.
all the way down.
On our block, Burn Street. Yeah, they picked certain intersections to put crosswalks, and other ones they didn't. That's the question, is little, we just.
Just curious what the mentality was.
Saving and paying.
I will say that, yeah,
Oh,
that,
sorry.
Oh, yeah, your mics aren't on, sorry.
Thank you. So my question to the public was, we were questioning some crosswalk lining on Burn Street in Hackensack. All right,
Yes.
just take a look.
we'll take a look, Mayor, and get back to you. Yeah, the design of that project predated me. I don't have a lot of familiarity.
I mean, there might be an answer for it, but I'm just curious to see what it is, because it's kind of
Do you
weird.
not do every intersection usually?
I can't answer that question. I'll have to, yeah, I don't have that information, Deputy Mayor, I'm sorry. So, the other projects that we're doing are the City Hall offices. The roofing replacement is underway. The John Earl building roof is just about done. And we started the Civic Center roof. And this week, or next week, we'll be starting the firehouse roof. We're also proceeding with the renovation of the John Earl building for city offices. We had the contractor did mobilize this week. We have been having a pre-construction meeting and other construction meetings, reviewing their schedule and so forth. And Deputy Mayor commented last time, and other council members were concerned about the completion schedule for the project. And so we have talked about to the contractor about wanting them to compress their schedule. They did come up with some thoughts on that. We realized that we can't get a temporary CO for the building until the ADA ramps or the entrance is made fit for disabled access. So that was one of the later items in the project. We're going to try to move that up so that we can get our TCO sooner, get building and zoning into those new facilities. Another thing that we can do is move around the parking lot completion and push that to the back also, because we can get into the building, but while the parking lot is still torn up. So we'll look at the contractor understands our concerns, and they were meeting with their subs this week to resolve final delivery schedules. Of course, some of the schedule does also hinge on the availability of materials, and there are still a number of supply chain issues going on, but doesn't sound like supply chain should be too much of an issue on this job. So I expect that now that they've been meeting with their subs yesterday, today, I expect an updated schedule from them in the next day or two, certainly the end of this week.
Chris, what I was really looking for too is to see some stuff in parallel. It's a very serial looking schedule. You can just glance at it and see. There's no reason for that. You know, I mean, while they're working on kitchens, they could also be working on bathrooms. While they're painting in one room, they could be spackling in another. While they're working on the first floor, they could be working on the second floor. So, I mean, I think that they have to understand that this is totally unacceptable. That, we have to take things back to order, and that's a long time in a serial development. So we need to whatever they have to do to bring that schedule on, we have to look at.
Thank you. We're definitely working with them on that. And the Atlantic Street Garage, we did just receive the height bar to restrict vehicles. So this that should be being installed shortly. We're largely complete on the Atlantic Street Garage, except for that height bar installation and the signage, and that's just about imminent. The Main Street streetscape is in a bit of a hold at the moment, as we're waiting for DOT to review and approve the supplier for the American iron benches and tree gates. The benches are already there. We're looking for the tree grates. And so this is an item that we do believe may suffer from the availability of materials, and we're waiting for that information to come forth from the supplier, and once we get DOT to approve that supplier.
Just curious, why does a DOT need to approve a tree grade?
The supplier is a disadvantaged, there's a DBE requirement, or disadvantaged business enterprise requirement in the contract, and so those materials are being provided by that vendor, and so it's a bit of a, if we want a different supplier, they're going to have to be DBE also, and so we're working through that.
The money came from that, so that's part of it.
You're right. Okay.
And then this is a project that we haven't had a slide on previously, but just to update you about the site remediation at the fire department headquarters site. We have installed previously or recently 5 injection wells and 4 recovery wells. It's an injection and vacuum extraction process, and we've been through 1 round there. The licensed site remediation professional is anticipating 5 rounds of injection and extraction to remediate a plume of oil product there, and the number of rounds of that will ultimately be determined by the results of sampling and seeing that you are reducing the concentration of that plume as you're injecting and pumping out. And that completes my presentation. If there's any questions?
Going back to the John Earl building, so there are no set dates at this point for completion or anything?
We have a schedule from them. It has not been approved, so we've been reviewing their schedule. And as we've just discussed, trying to get them to bring it in sooner.
Okay.
The date they got there was March, so we say that may good.
So,
So we try to speed it up.
I have two questions. Is Carver Park, they already started there, from what I understand, and then we have today's beautiful weather. Why weren't they working, well, like this week already? I know you said Thursday, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday are spectacular work days,
What is it?
and nothing happening. And then we just watched this through Stock Park with weeks of beautiful weather and no contractors on site. And it's frustrating because we get the calls from the public. So we're gonna get a lot of calls on Carver Park if this keeps up, because you can't dig something up and then disappear for half a week or a week and then dig something up and come back another week later. People are onto that. They're gonna be onto us. That's what's gonna happen.
We have a very good contractor on this project. I understand your concern. I guess at the moment, I'm not concerned about their delivery on schedule. With every project, there's gonna be periods of downtime where you're doing something else.
Understood. It's just that, I'm looking for that contractor out there that actually just starts a
Prioritize
job,
Hackensack.
he's there every day, that he can, weather permitting, until the job is done, and boom, that's, I was a contractor, that's what we did. I know government's different. They have a little bit of leeway and they take advantage. I would just emphasize to the contractor or to the project, whoever's managing that project, guys, city council's really concerned about scheduling, not just this job, other jobs. And, we have the public watching, and it's gonna get ugly if this thing falls behind. Because you don't know what's gonna happen with weather, so you gotta take advantage of it when it's here, So, my other question is, the Voorhees pump station. So we got a pump. The electric needs for the pump are right on the pump, correct?
Yes.
And the electric supply for the pump had nothing to do with the pump that went in, correct? Or doesn't fit, or not?
It fits what was posted on the front of the main power to the site. On the front of that main power shutoff, it says 208 volts,
Right.
and that's what they went with.
Why would they not, the specs, but the electric has to run the motor, not a sign.
Agreed.
I mean,
I agree. There should have been.
I know you said, I don't know whether you said it before, that we're not on the hook for this, but this is the type of stuff that if you don't watch, you get charged for their mistakes and they think nothing of it.
We shouldn't be on the hook for this.
Yeah, no.
But what is the reason the regular voltage is like about 115, 220, 440? So what is the reason 208?
208 is the same as 220, pretty much same as 220.
Huh?
Depends on the phase.
Yeah, the other equipment at the site, or the voltage at the site is 235. And the pumps can tolerate a variation in voltage, but they can't tolerate that much. It's about 10%, I think, that it can tolerate. So it's just outside of that range, and for continued operation, we don't want those pumps, operating at the higher
In a
voltage.
way they can get one transformer, they get it 2A and then go up to 235 or reduce.
We're going to get it, we're gonna need a transformer, and
It's a transformer, it's a big
we
problem.
need a transformer. So that part of it,
Plus the transformer's gonna be on the ground, correct? There's gonna be a
I'm not,
pump.
I think it would be on the wall, and I haven't
I'm
gotten
just worried
into.
about it, transformers and water do not fare well together.
Sure, yeah, no, this will be, it's gonna be above grade with everything else,
Normally they will get.
and out of the floodplain.
Okay. Any other questions? That's it? Thank you, Chris.
Thank you.
Stick around, because we're gonna have some time. I'm gonna get done. Okay.
So we'll do public
I need a motion to open to the public.
Offer.
Second. Councilwoman Margaret Ward. Aye. Deputy Mayor Canestrino.
Aye.
Councilwoman Chapman.
Are you tomato? Aye.
Councilman Carroll.
Aye.
Mayor LaBrus.
Aye. Anybody from the public who'd like to speak, please come forward. You have 3 minutes. Would you like to speak, Mr. Servo, before we go into closed session?
You're kind of egging me on, but now I'll pass.
We'll catch you in the next round. We'll get back shortly.
I got plenty to say.
Motion to close.
I have plenty to say.
Second.
Thank you.
Roll call.
Councilwoman Wennerberg. Aye. Deputy Mayor Canestrino. Aye. Councilman Staglitt.
Aye.
Councilman Carroll.
Aye.
Mayor LaBrus.
Aye. We'll be returning to closed session, returning approximately 8 o'clock. We'll close the executive meeting and the council level. Thank you.